PPO that we have that's at issue in this case was entered on January 23rd, 2024. I'm only concerned about what's happened recent and not dredging up years ago.
Understood, Your Honor. This speaks directly to the type of coercive control that Mr. Jackson continues to.
Yeah, I made it clear. Address your proofs on that, or otherwise I'm going to have you move on.
Let's go to December 9th and December 16th of 2023 then. Ms. Mendelson, when we're referencing the Burger King incident.
Court is back in session. It is March 11, 2024 at 10:54 a.m. and this is case 2024-177 PP. Tanisha Mendelson versus Wesley Jackson, Attorney Sachs for petitioner plaintiff.
Okay. Good morning to everyone. The court will note the appearance of Ms. Sachs on behalf of the petitioner. The matter is before the court on the defendant's motion to terminate the personal protective order. Mr. Jackson, when I go through your motion, I note that you reference various things that occurred back in 2022 when apparently a PPO was entered. I guess I'm not as much concerned about what happened in 2022 as I'm more concerned about the current PPO that was entered back in January 23rd, 2024. So if we can confine ourselves to that, I'm not going to rehash what happened 2 years ago because obviously there was no action file with regard to that particular motion. Okay. Mr. Jackson, what I'll do is, in this case, I'll have you sworn in. If you raise your right hand, we'll have you sworn, then you can give some testimony.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Jackson. What would you like to tell me in this matter?
Well, it's been forever since I've seen my kids. I've been trying to see them.
Okay, let me stop you there, sir. A PPO has nothing to do with your kids. If you're not able to see your kids, you can always file a petition in the underlying action to see your children. And that's not involved in the PPO action at all, other than making arrangements to have, pick up and drop off, et cetera. But we can do that in another way. We can do that through third parties or something of that nature. So again, I don't want to hear about the kids because it's not the issue today. The issue is the PPO.
Okay. Well, yes, sir. Well, on the date, it was a whole lot of stuff that was said that was incorrect. About Burger King. I think it was said that hold up one second. It was said that I stood between the door and her. That never happened. When I was told that I would not be able to make contact with my kids for their birthday or Christmas, I gave them a kiss both on the cheek and I got in the car and I left. So that statement, that verified statement right there was untrue. It wasn't any type of incident on either one of the occurrences when I met them just now. Not in just now, but like in April. Not April, but in February.
Okay.
And I've also tried to make contact with my kids by way of maybe like calling to check on them at their daycare. And I was not called back. So my mom called to check and they said I was on a no contact list, which I feel like that's all of this is like alienation. I don't have any history
I would object.
of
There's
being
no evidence
violent.
At this point, we're litigating the divorce again.
Okay.
I don't have any history of violence, or I don't even have a speeding ticket. So the grounds that for a PPO, I think is like it was falsified.
Okay. Okay, anything else, sir?
No, that's it.
Okay. Ms. Sachs, any evidence testimony you'd like to present?
I have a brief opening statement, and then I'd like to proceed to call Miss Mendelson if I could.
Okay, go ahead.
I am appearing today on behalf of Miss Mendelson, to respectfully request that this honorable court deny respondent's motion to terminate the instant PPO. As I stated, petitioner attempts throughout his motion to mostly be trying to litigate the divorce, and this is not the proper forum to do so. What is the issue today is that Miss Mendelson has lived for years now with a reasonable apprehension of fear of violence from respondent due to his past behavior. I would additionally add that this instant PPO is only granted for a period of 6 months in consideration for the fact that Miss Mendelson has an increased reasonable apprehension of fear due to retaliation on the part of respondent due to the instant divorce. And so for those reasons, Ms. Mendelson will testify as to why she would ask this petition be denied.
Okay.
And at this time, I would like to call Tanisha Mendelson.
Okay. Ms. Mendelson, we'll have you raise your right hand, be sworn in.
Ma'am, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Sachs.
Ms. Mendelson, because it was mentioned in respondent's motion, what is your full legal name?
Tanisha Mendelson.
And what is your relationship with the respondent?
He is my husband.
And are you two still living together?
No.
When did you two separate?
We separated in October of 2022.
And you filed this petition for the PPO, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And were all the statements in the petition true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Do they remain true today?
Yeah.
You understand that when you signed the petition, you were affirming that all of these were true?
Yes, I did.
How do you feel about testifying in front of respondent today?
I'm very anxious. He makes me feel intimidated at times. When I tried to speak up about the events that have occurred between both of us, I feel scared.
What do you fear will happen if the court were to terminate this PPO today?
Retaliation for the past year and a half.
And would you fear for your personal safety if this PPO
Yes.
were terminated?
Yes, I would.
Going to your petition itself, you refer to an incident that was dated December 22nd, 2022. Is that the correct date?
Yeah. In the first petition, is that what you're talking about?
In this petition for a PPO.
Oh, yes. Yeah. The date is, the year on the petition is incorrect. It should be 2021. My son was born December 23rd, 2021.
And do you remember what occurred on that day that caused this petition to happen on December 21st, 2021?
The respondent.
Okay, hold on, Ms. Sachs. I don't want to go back into something that's that many years ago. I mean, the petition, the PPO that we have that's at issue in this case was entered on January 23rd, 2024. I'm only concerned about what's happened recent and not dredging up years ago.
Understood, Your Honor. This speaks directly to the type of coercive control that Mr. Jackson continues to.
Yeah, I made it clear. Address your proofs on that, or otherwise I'm gonna have you move on.
Let's go to December 9th and December 16th of 2023 then. Ms. Mendelson, when we're referencing the Burger King incident, will you tell the court a little bit about that?
We had met once at Burger King the first time. That seemed to go well. So I decided to meet a second time on December 16th at Burger King with him. But we met at the park initially so the kids could play with him. We were there for about an hour, and when we arrived back to the vehicle, I was sticking my 2-year-old Austin in the car, and by the time I had come back around to the driver's side, he had his foot on my tire and he threatened to take the children for a year. I put that aside for the best interest of the kids. So we went to Burger King after that and we had dinner. And after dinner, because of his demeanor and his behavior, I felt like it was not appropriate to spend Christmas with him. He did not like that. He got in his vehicle and drove quickly to the exit of Burger King, stopped and reversed. And I felt very nervous at that point. So instead of going straight home, I took a left out of the parking lot and started driving towards the police station.
And you said that you were concerned about his demeanor. Can you describe that a little bit more for the court?
He was very upset. And I don't know how, when he is upset, he reacts in a aggressive manner. And I am 4'11", about 90 pounds, and he is over 6 foot, and there is nothing I can do to stop him. So I felt intimidated and threatened based on what I've seen in the past.
And Ms. Mendelson, you said that you met a second time. Will you describe that incident for the court as well?
That was the second time.
And then the first time?
The first time went pretty well over at Burger King. We spoke about things from the past. And once I brought up having to apologize to my eldest daughter for his behavior, he started to get very defensive. And we stopped that interaction and he left the home.
And Ms. Mendelson, you keep referencing you were worried based on past behaviors that additional behaviors would occur. What sorts of past behaviors generally are you referring to?
Intimidating behaviors such as not letting me speak. Aggressive behavior like balling his fists and yelling. Sorry. Just yelling in general. Yeah.
Did you ever fear for your physical safety?
Yes, I did.
When was that?
In the past, on when I filed the first PPO, the events that occurred that night made me realize kind of how he reacts.
Your Honor, I have no further questions at this time.
Okay. Mr. Jackson, do you have any questions of the petitioner?
Yes, sir. During the last her last two statements, I lost service, so I wasn't able to hear what was said. Is there some type of way we can get her to repeat it? Because I don't know if something was said that I could defend myself against or what.
Okay, what part didn't you hear?
I don't know. That's what I was saying.
Well, you
I just
gotta
heard
tell
the
me
last
sometime.
part.
You didn't hear the whole thing. You didn't hear half of it. You didn't hear, what was the
Well,
last thing you
close to
heard?
the end, right close to the end. I know what she said. I heard what she was saying, something about the first PPO, and I thought we couldn't like talk about the first PPO.
She
I
said,
know.
what she testified to, sir, is that she did have fear for her physical safety at the time of the first PPO. That was it.
Oh,
There
okay.
was nothing said after that.
Yes, sir. At no time have I ever
Sir,
threatened
sir, it's
my
not your
wife.
time. It's not your
Oh,
time to
my bad.
testify. It's your time to ask questions.
Oh, it's my time to ask questions.
Yes.
Okay. I don't really have any questions. You
Okay.
know.
Okay, that's fine. You don't have to have any questions. With that, Ms. Sachs, any additional witnesses?
No additional witnesses, Your Honor.
Okay. Sir, do you have any additional witnesses?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Sachs, any closing argument?
Just briefly, Your Honor, Ms. Mendelson has testified that the prior PPO was in fact a useful agent in keeping physical and emotional violence from occurring. Once that PPO was removed, there were two incidents directly that she testified to in which she felt intimidated and anticipated future retaliatory action. And it is for those reasons that for the duration of the divorce, we would ask that this petition be continued and that respondent's motion therefore be denied.
Mr. Jackson, any closing arguments you have?
Yes, sir. On those two incidences, I was passing by the house. On one of them, she tried to flag me down and I didn't stop. On the other one, I just, I kept riding. I think it's hard for you to say you're afraid of somebody if they try to flag you down. Other than that, she knows I'm not violent. I'm not a violent person. If we're talking about stuff in the past, it was a lot of situations that happened in the past that would make me aggravated. But I have never threatened violence to her or my children or anybody else.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, the court's heard the testimony in this matter. The matter concerns the current PPO entered by Judge Yost Johnson on January 23rd, 2024. I know as I review that, they have a litany of, again, allegations from the prior action, and that was a PPO that was entered back in, I believe, in 2022. And as it relates to the current petition, that's why I wanted to confine it. The petitioner has stated that she has fear for retaliation, fear for personal safety. She said that parties met back on December 9, 2023 at Burger King. The first meeting, as she said, went well. The second meeting on December 16, 2023, that they first met at the park, that they were there for approximately an hour, that again, there was discussion at the car after she put the kids in. She said the defendant put his foot on her tire. And at that time, after that, they went to Burger King to have dinner. She states that the respondent got in his vehicle after being at Burger King. He drove to the exit. He put his car in the reverse, and she said she was concerned. At that point, she somehow felt intimidated because he put his car in reverse. She doesn't say how she felt intimidated or how that would intimidate her in this particular matter. She says that she feels intimidated as a result of past conduct. When she was questioned and pushed about what conduct, it says just yelling in general. And she stated that she did have fear for her safety, but at the time of the first PPO. In this particular matter, the court has to decide and make a determination whether it's appropriate to have a personal protective order pursuant to Michigan Compile Law 600.2950, and it's a subject to the various subsections. The court may enjoin or restrain certain conduct if the court determines that there is reasonable cause to believe that an individual has committed or may commit any of the acts listed in MCL 600.2950 parens 1 A through K. In this particular matter, again, first was entering upon the premises. There's been no allegations of that. Second, assaulting, attacking, beating, molesting, or wounding an individual. No testimony about any of that occur. Next, threatening to kill or physically injure an individual. There's been no threatened action to kill or physically injure the petitioner. In this particular matter, she's not testified to any of the other subsections in that matter. And the last one is sub K, other act or conduct that imposes or interferes with a person's liberty or causes reasonable apprehension of violence. Based upon her testimony today, the court cannot see any conduct that imposes or interferes with her personal liberty or causes reasonable apprehension of violence. The only incident was the incident on December 16, 2022, in which he put his car in reverse, came back in the parking lot, and that's it. There's no testimony about any incident or confrontation occurring after that. Only in her mind, some apprehension. The court has to determine whether that apprehension is reasonable, and that, again, would that apprehension be reasonable to an ordinary individual? The court does not believe that it would in this particular matter, and she has not set forth any basis for doing that in her testimony. As a result, the court does believe that termination of the personal protective order issued by Judge Yost Johnson on January 23rd, 2024 is appropriate, and the court will vacate that personal protective order in this particular matter. With that, the court states if the parties do have issues concerning exchanges of children and things of that nature, they have a right to petition in the underlying divorce action. The court will set then some different parameters and restrictions, etc., to parenting time, maybe meeting at a police station. The court could order as well that the parties would do exchanges involving third parties so that the party, in this case, the petitioner, would not be present. The court can do that, but I don't believe that, again, entering a personal protective order at this point is the appropriate substitute for other conditions under parenting time, and as a result, the court will vacate that order, and court will sign that. You'll get that in a few days, and again, anything else that you need to proceed with, please do so in the divorce action, unless there would be an appropriate basis under the personal protective order statute, but the court doesn't find that at this time. So that will be the order of the court. Your